What it is, YouTube. Better yet, what's up, YouTube? So let me bounce off into this subject right now. So, when I was growing up, and remember you, not remember you, but remind you, I am 30 years old. I was born in the year 1992. I've always hung out with people that was older than me. So I've always hung with somebody that was born in 89, 90, 91. Okay, yeah, I got some family members that's younger than me that I probably hung with already. Alright. When I say the streets is not the same, like the streets, I remember growing up as a kid, like in the 90s, a lot of us was born in the crack era. I happen to be one of them type of people who was born in the crack era. Back then, you feel me, as a kid, I don't know about everybody else, but me, like me and my squad, family members I grew up with or whatever, like we grew up being able to walk to the store. We had to unfortunately go walk to different parks to go swim at. And at this time, my grandma, she stayed close to Mona Park was down the way, and I think the nearest park after that one which was, I think was, I think it was just Mona that she stayed close to. But then you had Gonzalez up the street, then you had Carver down the way. This is in the 90s. So as kids, when we got older or whatever, like our grandma used to always tell us, like, walk together, and if something happened, y'all better all defend each other. Even if we didn't know how to fight, you learn the range real quick. You learn how to throw a punch. You know how to, fight. You know how to stand up for yourself real quick if you got family members that care for you and love for you. So I grew up walking, being able to walk the streets. As to when I got older, like, you couldn't really walk like that. Like, you literally had to, like, have a car. I mean, but then it was times I used to, unfortunately, me, I know how to blend. I knew how to use, how I put this. I used to know how to, and I still do know how to use blend tactics. If you know what a blend tactic is, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not going to explain to you what a blend tactic is. Look up animals with blend tactics. So I used to, I would walk. I done got the train, the bus. I done rode a skateboard, a bike. Feel me? I'm just saying, it's like times are different now. We got this next generation that don't like to, I'm not ridiculing y'all. I'm just saying it's the truth. Y'all don't like to take the bus and the trains because y'all, I guess y'all big homies and homegirls or whatever. However y'all get y'all money, y'all just get money and y'all be in cars and y'all, whatever. Like my generation, we used to like stroll that shit out, or should we say walk it out, whatever you want to call it, stroll, walk, whatever. You know, get on the bus, the train, make it happen by any means. This generation, I got Uber, Lyft, and all that. Feel me? I'm glad Uber and Lyft came around because, I don't, do public transportation because I done seen some fucking horrific shit on there. So back to what I'm saying, I'm just comparing the generations if you want to compare, I grew up in an era where you could wear baggy clothes, right? But see, baggy clothes always attracted attention, unnecessary and unwanted attention. Like I remember when that shit happened in 2005 with the Mexican gangs and the black gangs. If you wore a white t-shirt or whatever, like they was gonna kill you. I heard that was from like the Latin side of it. I'm not too sure, but I know for a fact I've heard it numerous times from different family members and going to school because I was in middle school when that happened. And my mom wasn't trying to let me wear no white t-shirt. Grandma, none of that. Like, y'all can't wear white t-shirts for a while. Y'all gotta wear something else. And I don't understand what was so bad about wearing white t-shirts because if you wore color shirts, your ass was liable to get shot, packed out, jumped, beat up very badly. Like, growing up in my era, we call it being jumped. Now it's called being packed out. See the difference? As to, we gotta fight. Now this, I need that head up fade or run a fade. Like it's different words and different meanings for stuff, but that's how life is. Different eras and generations gonna change the slang, the ways of the world, the way you dress, all that. So back to what I'm saying. The tight clothes, I was the generation that was around when the jerk movement came out. A lot of people don't know the jerk movement caused skinny and tight clothes. Why? Because people want to look different and feel different. But in a way, black people, we got that from what I was told, goth people. You know, people that listen to Aerosmith, Metallica. You know the goth people with the black makeup around their face, all that shit. And nowadays, like, I used to use that shit because I went to school over there on the north side of Long Beach at Long Beach Jordan High. I used to, sit back and watch the Long Beach kids and be like, oh, that's dope. Like they dress like that. But see, the police don't fuck with them like that. And I used that tactic and I ran a watch in LA with it. Like, I'm not the first person to start skinny jeans and tight clothes, so don't quote me on that. I'm just saying, me, myself, out of my group of people I grew up with, I wore tight clothes to just get away from the baggy shit. So that way the police will not fucking pull me over and, fuck with me. Because I stay getting pulled over. I don't know how many times Los Angeles PD or Los Angeles Sheriff's done pulled me over. I done been pulled over on foot, bike. But for some reason they don't fuck with you when you had on tight clothes and a skateboard. I noticed that. They don't fuck with you. They leave you be. That's called a blend tactic to me. So I use that to my advantage and, it kept me out of a lot of trouble. But back to what I'm saying, like, look at the difference in the generations. Like now, like growing up, if you had a deuce 5, the first gun you played with a deuce 5, was a deuce 5, 38, I mean, you heard about the AKs, the Uzis, but then when you got, now in this generation, they playing with guns with switches on the back of them, 30-round clips. You feel me? I done seen shit where I'm like, damn, how y'all even gonna get how you gonna get the time and the chance to even use that gun before you even fire 2 shots? The police is already in the vicinity looking for that, that sound of that gun, and before they catch you, it's a wrap. And like, see, growing up in my era, if you wore a certain hat, that means you belong to a certain area. And certain color at that, yeah, you belong in this area. They wasn't, people from the opposition end or the other side of town that don't get along with the area you stay in, they wasn't asking questions. They was liable to walk, roll up on you, hey, you such and such from such and such, or, oh, that's one of them. Hop out, do they stuff on you. They don't care if they was gonna shoot you, stab you, whoop your ass very badly, you feel me? They was gonna make an example out of you. Now in this day and age, this generation don't ask questions. They don't, where you from? Like, if they say where you from, they already liable to shoot you on sight, because as soon as they say where you from, they waiting on your reply just to, shoot you and gun you down. Like, see the difference? And then, shoes. When you had your shoes on, you know what colors you could wear in your shoes. Like, if you ain't from nowhere, wear black laces. If you from a Crip neighborhood, wear blue laces. Whatever the hood colors is out here, certain hoods, Bloods, Crips, whatever, essays, all that. Everybody know what hood color is the neighborhood you stay in. You feel me? You had to learn what color you lived around. So if you start seeing a lot of niggas with blue on, okay, you lived in the Crip hood. If you start seeing niggas with a lot of red and burgundy on, you stay in the Blood or Peru neighborhood. Now, if you start, I don't know, I mean, if you, like, lived in, like, certain areas, like out here, like, the essays wear blue. But out there, it's essays that wear blue, too. But that don't mean they Crips, they essays. You feel me? They wear their own colors. That's what I'm saying. Back then, bandanas was cool. You could wear a bandana. You knew your bandana to wear and what bandana not to wear. Out here, niggas don't even, when I say out here, meaning nowadays, niggas don't even wear their bandanas. Like, niggas don't dress up in khaki suits and, we call it the church attire, you feel me? How they say 5-piece suits or whatever, whatever how they say it, the church attire to go to the club or whatever. This generation, you can wear what the fuck you want, say what you want. Niggas, like this generation, they liable to dress up on their hood day, look like they playing the part, but not really playing the part. Like, a lot of niggas, when I grew up, when you knew people because y'all went through the same struggle. Y'all battled it out. Like, that's how I could know certain people from different hoods, because even though my family not from that hood, I played with somebody in that neighborhood. I knew somebody in their family in that neighborhood. You feel me? We not from this neighborhood, but we moved over here, and like I said, people used to try to run my grandma and our family off. We wasn't the type of people that's just gonna go for it. We gonna battle it out. However we gonna get the point across to you that we not moving unless, housing make us move, or, the authorities say we can't live over here. That's the only way we moving. Other than that, we not moving. So people will have to respect it. You feel me? This generation, like, you might live somewhere, don't know nobody in the neighborhood. So something happened to you, they can't, call your peoples or tell your peoples what happened to you. They be like, oh, I don't know who that is. Like, they dead or whatever. But see, growing up with people, you learn to, solve your differences. If it's an issue, you gonna fight. This generation don't fight. They go straight to gunplay, which is weird to me. And I can say that because I'm the generation back in 2000s that was a kid, you feel me? I grew up fighting. Not ever once in my life have I ever reached for a weapon or a gun. Okay. When I say I've carried weapons, that's a different story. But you feel me? It's okay to carry some, but I ain't ever been the type of person to pull that out and use it because I know I could fight. You feel me? This generation do not know how to fight. They know how to pull up. Feel me? What Job Below saying that song? Pull up, hop out. That's it. That's all this generation know how to do now. Pull up and hop out. And it's crazy because, you had a choice if you wanted to be what they call a shooter, a driller, a dope seller, you feel me? Or what they call a lean seller now, because I think a lean sellers is the new thing. Or if you want to be a ladies' man, what they call now a pimp. You had options or choices who you want to hang with and who you was around. But then, don't get me wrong, like I said, back then, you had the group that fought. We fighters, you feel me? You roll with the fighters. If you a shooter, you roll with the shooters. If you a hustler, you roll with the niggas that like to, roll dice. Feel me? If you was a nigga that loved to, like, mac on the ladies, you hung out with the niggas who was, like, pimps or they, what they call players. You feel me? But nowadays, you don't got none of that. All that shit is, like, one person trying to be everything. And it's like, nah, you got to play your role because it's certain roles that you can play. Meaning, you ain't got to be active. You could be a regular square, but everybody know you. Feel me? Like, I could say now, the difference between my era and this era, it's okay to be a square now. Back then, growing up, you could not be a square. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know what it was. Like, certain people, you feel me? I'm not taking nothing from nobody. Shout out to Watts Homie Quan because I did hear his story. And like he said, he grew up with a dad who was like a reputable member of a gang, but he chose not to go that path. Feel me? Like, me is a little different because, like, I got family that was from everywhere. So, I got family that's from certain hoods. I don't like getting into the hoods and all that because, you feel me, I like to keep it mutual over here. But I'm saying this, like, my era, I feel like we couldn't really do that because, like, our family was, like, reputable. Like, so, it didn't matter where we went. We didn't even have to say nothing. If they seen you with a certain family members, like back then, they seen you with your certain family member that was reputable, that they was known for bullshit, guess what? You not only not take their path involuntarily, it's pushed upon you because it's like, hey, we family, but if something happened, I don't want it to happen to you, so you're going to have to know how to do this. As to now, it's like, this generation don't even be putting their family up on shit that happened. Like, they could probably go, air somebody block out, go home, watch TV, play 2K, and don't say nothing to nobody. Back then, if something cracked off, niggas was coming home like, hey, this just happened, stay out the way. Niggas don't warn nobody about nothing. They just do that shit, don't even, they do that shit, don't even look back. And the past thing, like if you was a teenager or a kid and you was underage, I remember older niggas giving me passes like, hey, he a young nigga, leave him alone. Give him a pass. This generation don't stall shit out. He be hanging with them, so get him. And it's like, well, remember, karma is real, so if they catch you, don't be mad when the nigga, you feel me, strip you butt naked or, you feel me, embarrass you in front of your bra and be calling you all type of hoe ass nigga, bitch ass nigga. remember, you know, the energy you give out is what you gonna get back. And now, and like the main thing that really tripped me out is how if you didn't grow up in a certain hood, it's like if you didn't grow up over there, how I put this? Like back then, you could live in somebody's hood and not be from there. Because, you know, you might know somebody there, but you ain't hanging with their active members. They know you not from over there because, like, niggas knew who was who and who ain't. You feel me? Nowadays, you got niggas that be like, yeah, I'm from Wooty Woo Woo, but they come from the valley. And I ain't got nothing against the valley niggas. You feel me? I got family from the valley that's reputable. But I'm saying, like, they come from the valley, get put on out here, do some shit out here, and then go back to the valley. That ain't never set right with me and ain't never make sense. Like, to me, it ain't ever make sense. It's like, if you gonna be in this shit, you should live in this shit, get a feel for this shit, and actually go through this shit day to day. Not go from the valley or another state and then come out here, get put on, do your stuff, and go back to the next state or the next area you from. That ain't make sense to me, because it's like you don't get the feel for everything, because it's like you're not gonna feel everything your homies feeling around you. Like how if your homeboy get killed or your homegirl die or, you know, somebody get robbed, like you wasn't in the vicinity of that area to see it happen. You feel me? As opposed to like, oh yeah, I heard such and such got, you know, hurt or whatever. I came from out where I live at to come back over here to, you know, help the homies. And it's like, bro, at that point, it's like, you're not even in the streets no more. It's like, nigga, you went all the way to no man's land, you know, but then come back to the inner city and get active. That ain't ever made sense to me. Like, I always used to ask people who, because I've been in touch with some people who came from the valley, like, and, you know, got part of the lifestyle. Then they start, you know, it's like, what was the point of even getting involved in this if you ain't never grew up in it? Like, I always look down upon people who ain't ever grew up in it. If you ain't ever grew up in it, why be in it? Like, the shit really ain't ever made sense to me. When I got older, like, you know, when you a kid and you a teenager, you don't really ask the shit that, you know, you just go along with it because you feel it's normal. Because it's normal to see somebody, you know, get gunned down or get hurt. It's normal. Back then it was normal to us. Like, I seen yellow tape 24/7. It is normal. As compared to, you know, now you don't really see it as much. Like, incidents might pop off. Either you in the shit or you not in the shit. Like, move away. Like, back then, where you from, they knew where you was from. They just saying it just to see if you was gonna rep your shit. Nowadays, where you from don't mean shit. Because a nigga say where you from, and this nigga ain't even a real reputable like that. Nigga might be a real bitch-ass nigga just saying where you from because he feel like he got that energy because he got a pistol on him. Or he got a knife on him or something. But nigga ain't on none of that type of time. Just like back then, you could walk with your homie somewhere. Y'all know what's gonna happen if you walk with each other somewhere. As compared now, it's like, niggas will walk with anybody and be like, oh, that's the homie, that's the homegirl. And it's like, nigga, you don't even know this motherfucker. This motherfucker could really be like really down bad. You just really rolling with them and don't even know nothing about them. Don't know their mama, don't know their granny, don't know their cousins. From growing up in my area, you actually have to know people. Like, you have to actually know them and know their family to be like, all right, yeah, I know them. That's such and such people. And you knew who you, like, how I put this. You knew who your enemy was because your enemy was like literally somebody you went to school with, which is fucking crazy because that's what it really is. Like, you know, the person you go to school with, you're not even knowing because, you know, your schools hold so many people from different areas. So eventually, once y'all get to the issue where niggas start actually, you know, doing their shit or whatever, you actually come across your enemy where it's going to be like, either you're going to do this with this nigga, get into it with them, or well, however it's going to go, it's going to go. As today, now, the kids don't, like, you know, the next generation, they're not. I can say one thing the next generation got on lock that we didn't, is they know how to get to the money. But they don't know how the street shit go because they not deep involved in the street shit. And they know how to, like, get money with different areas, you feel me? Like, you know, it might be a nigga who from this hood, you know, let's say he might be from, like, point B, and a nigga from, like, point A, they come together and they start getting money together. Like, I don't know, cause I didn't get to see that growing up like that much. Like, cause niggas just like, oh yeah, they from such and such. Nah, we ain't fucking with them. Like, we ain't getting money with them. Like, it ain't like that. But I always say a hustler gonna make money and gonna get money with whoever they want to. Ain't no limitations on making money with nobody. Ain't no color lines when all y'all see is green. Like how the rich could be with the rich, the broke could be with the broke. For me, the poor could be with the poor. Like, like everybody got their crowds. So if you was a skateboarder, you hung with skateboarders. If you was a gang member, you hung with gang members. If you was a band nerd, you hung with the band nerds. Or if you was a geeky kid, you hung with the geeks. Like, shit like that. But growing up in California, like, you mingle with everybody. Like, so you know everybody. Like, I know I did. I knew everybody. I was part of the band. I was in the bullshit. I love women, but at the same time, back then, growing up like how now, I can literally smile at a female and they, oh my God, he got a handsome smile, he's so handsome. It wasn't like that back then. Hey, oh, he dark skinned, I don't really fuck with him like that. I don't do dark skin. But now, shit, dark skin is in, they can't get enough of a nigga. You feel me? That's how I be. Feel me? You glow up come. Oh my God, that's such and such from back to such and such back in the day. Oh my God, I didn't got it so many times. They didn't. Oh my God, like that's you. What? You feel me? Back then he all right. I don't like him. But then they see you in public. Like I done had it to where I'm with my daughter. Oh my God, you so handsome now. Your daughter's so beautiful. And I be like, come on now, you only saying that because you see a nigga looking real good. And they say I'm glowing and I'm shining. So you feel me? Back then, you feel me? Like how now? Back then, you used to have to walk up to a girl or with a letter, do you like me? They take the letter and be like, yeah or no. And some of them, if they was harsh, they'd put you ugly at the bottom. Me, when I had a girlfriend and I couldn't talk to her, where her friend at? I'm writing her letters. I write her a love letter, or what we call love letters, or I write her a note. Hey, go take this to baby girl in class or whatever. And they get your note. You write their number, they call you or you call them, however it go. You feel me? This generation don't know nothing about that. All they know is the internet. They don't know how to put the groundwork in to get a girl number and actually put the time in to go get them. Now it's the other way around, where girls putting in the energy and the time to get to know the men. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, that's something wrong with that. Like, I don't know what the fuck going on. That shit didn't make sense. Last but not least, snitches. I don't usually like to touch on this subject because I don't like using it in my vocabulary, being around it, being around nobody that's like that. You feel me? And if it is somebody around like that, I usually be like kind of like pressing them low key, like low key press, like, hey, such and such says you telling, like, is you telling? And the first thing, oh hell no, nigga, I ain't never told nobody. I'm a day one, woo woo woo. And it's like, well, if you a day one, you telling, like, I feel like you's a snitch. Like, if you snitching, you snitching. Like, you feel me? You snitch, but, you feel me? Stoner from the town said the best. You feel me? Snitches nowadays, they active. So you really can't be on them like that because they active. If you press a nigga about being a snitch, he knock you down. Now, guess what? You dead for asking a nigga when he was a snitch. But then, back then, snitches got regulated. I'm talking about once niggas found out you was a snitch, you couldn't go nowhere. Niggas was whooping your ass. Niggas will pummel you everywhere you go. Yeah, that's such and such. He a snitch. He told on such and such from such and such. And they got all over the LA. All over LA. Where you couldn't, only place you could run was not in the inner city. You had to go wherever it was the outer city at. If you had to go run to the desert, shit, you gotta go run to the desert. You was a snitch. It's all bad for you. And back then, they used to really make examples out of snitches. Like, they humiliated snitches. I done seen it bad in middle school. Where they humiliated a nigga for being a snitch. Like, oh yeah, he a snitch ass nigga. I remember a nigga try to push that snitch narrative on me, and I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not no snitch because, yeah, I had an issue. I think the nigga said something to me, and I told the teacher, and the nigga tried to make it sound like I was a snitch. The nigga who pressed me saying I'm a snitch, I'm not a snitch because you not knowing who I am. See, that was a nigga who didn't know who he was playing with. See, I don't know how the dude grew up with that tried to call me that. And I wasn't, excuse me, I wasn't on that type of time. I was on the type of time where, nigga, I'm out here in these streets. And I'm gonna run across you at a party. And you better hope I'm not on that bullshit. Because if I'm on that bullshit, you getting dealt with. And I used to deal with niggas a lot at a party. You feel me? And I don't know what it was about parties and certain niggas you went to school with, especially in middle school. Like, see, I wasn't a regular middle schooler. I'm doing shit niggas could only imagine. You just like, you know, that's why so many people knew me and knew my family, because nigga, we really out here in the streets. We really moving around. We really know people that, you know. But this generation don't know nothing about that. This generation, they like, I'm just gonna stay confined in my little area. You feel me? I'm not gonna get out like that. And what's crazy is, when I got older, I literally had to learn that I can't fuck with everybody. Back then, I fucked with everybody. Everybody knew me. When I say fuck with everybody, like, I had no other way but to fuck with people, because I knew everybody. When I say I knew everybody, if I didn't know you, my family knew you, which was fucking crazy. Like, I don't know how, but somehow my daddy will know they daddy, or my daddy will know they sister, they uncle, they cousin, or my cousin will know they cousin. Like, it was wild like that. So that's why I know so many people and actually, you know, could go different areas. Like, a lot of niggas back then, when I was growing up, a lot of niggas, you know, niggas used to steal niggas Jordans. Niggas used to, you know, like, niggas liable to, like, slap you in the back of your head, call you a bitch in front of your girlfriend, take your shoes, you feel me, make you walk home barefooted. That's humiliation back then. Humiliation now is, oh, let's hop out in the nigga hood and pull out a camera phone and run up on them and say, where you from? And then slap a nigga with one hand while the other homies pack him out. That's humiliation now. That shit don't make sense to me to this day. It's like, self-snitching at its finest nowadays, that's the dumbest shit to me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, and maybe, you know, you could probably try to say I'm a hypocrite in a way, because I actually talk about my life. If that's self-snitching, then hey, I ain't told on nobody. I don't tell on people. That's not me. I talk about Elijah One Davis. Talk about me, myself. You feel me? That's who I am. You feel me? That's who I am. Like, I can only talk about stuff I've been through, stuff I've gone through and lived through and survived through. I'm not bringing nobody else's name up in it, because, you feel me, I was taught in the era, I come from the era where you don't say no names. You don't put another man's business out there without knowing if it's true or not. And if it is true, you don't say it. You feel me? You stay in your lane. This generation has a hard time staying in their lane. He might, you know, and one thing I ain't ever thought of or ever understood is how you could be out with your bra, right? And it's just me just randomly throwing this out. You could be out with your bra, and another nigga you come across, you just walk past him. Y'all look at each other, y'all keep walking. And I know what he just started being extra, like, don't nobody want your bra, woo-woo. She ugly anyway. Like, this generation, you will talk down on the bra and be hanging with your nigga. Like, I ain't ever understand that. Why you always with your homies? Like, when I was with my homies, because, you know, whatever it is. If we going out, we hanging. If we probably lounging and chilling, we hanging. But if not, if I'm with a broad, I'm with a broad. I'm not finna be with niggas all the time. You feel me? You got your times when you gonna want to be with your niggas. This generation now, I don't understand how you niggas can sleep in the same room, slay in bed, be high together. Like, when I say be high, I done seen hella videos on this internet where niggas be exposed doing shit that I'm just like, that's some shit that'll literally get you. I'm telling you, that shit that literally get you embarrassed for years to come. And this generation don't believe in being humble. They believe in being turned up all the time. If you know me, then you know my name was one point in time. It had turned up in it. That's because when I said I was turned up, I really was turned up. Like, I'm on you. Like, and not just on you. If I'm on a broad, I'm turned up on a broad. If I'm turned up at a party, I'm turned up at a party. Just me as a person, I could wake up and turn up. Like I said, what was my go-to in the morning when I was doing my shit? I wake up, go to the store, give me some gin, some vodka, whatever, you feel me? Black him out. I'm on. You feel me? This generation, turn up to them is being sleepy all the time off lean. They doing pills, perks. I was the generation that came around when Like I said, I was in middle school when I guess the Thiz era started, which we call the Mac Dre era, which is I forgot the name of the era, but you feel me? Basically that era, that back then they used to, pop pills and all that shit. I ain't ever been a pill popper because I just don't feel like that's something I want to do. I feel like, if you use drugs, like, not me, like, how I put this? My generation, because I grew up in the crack era, if you do any drugs besides weed and alcohol, we was like, nigga, you crackhead. Stay away from us. Like, we don't fuck with crackheads. This generation, anything goes. And this is how I know, because when I found out the rapper Problem made his name of his album Welcome to Mollywood, I didn't really know nothing about Problem until my boy put me on. But when my boy put me on, he was doing what's the name of that shit? He was doing fucking Narcos, and you feel me? I'm like, what? Oh, you feel me? Like, niggas was doing bars and all that, and I'm like, what the fuck is a bar? Oh, a bar is a pill. Nah, nigga, get the fuck away from me with that shit. I don't do nothing. You feel me? I might have smoked a blunt, drank some drink, but I'm not doing nothing out of this ordinary. That ain't it. That's not it. And I literally separated myself from people who did pills and did powder or did lines, or, you know what I mean, coke, or well, that's what we call powder. I mean, it's like coke or whatever. I don't know. Like, that shit is, it is what it is. Like, if you was doing that type of shit, niggas was like, I can't fuck with you. And I ain't really judge people who did it, because if that's what you off, that's what you want to be on, that's what you on. But I'm not fucking with you. If I'm fucking with you and I'm around you, I'll move away. Like, you'll literally see me, and anybody who know me, they could literally say this and say this is true. They'll see me, I'll be looking at them, they'll put out something that ain't in my nature, I'll literally walk away from the group, and I'll go to the corner and just be there by myself, because that's how uncomfortable I feel with drugs. Like, but what you gotta understand is, if you're in the hood life, drugs come with it. In a way, some shape or form, you're gonna be around somebody that's on drugs, somebody that's selling drugs. Like, that type of lifestyle just mingle and go through with drugs. This generation, like, how I put this, y'all let anybody hit y'all weed. I seen people smoke weed that was already rolled up. And my mama and my aunties, they done told me, you don't smoke weed from nobody that you ain't see roll it up, because it might be something in that blunt. That's why so many people around here now lost out their minds, looking like zombies. Y'all smoke a blunt off anybody and then see them roll it up. Or y'all, like, I don't even agree with weed shops giving you pre-weed joints, like pre-roll joints. How we said pre-roll joints. I don't even agree with that, because that shit make me uncomfortable too. Like, nigga, this shit pre-roll. Where the fuck y'all pre-roll this shit at? How do y'all have the time and find the time to pre-roll this joint? And what's really in this joint? Like, literally, I'm that type of nigga. Like, you really start second guessing shit. Like, you don't take no drink from nobody. If you did not see them buy it from the liquor store and pop the cap off in front of you, you don't fucking drink off everybody. Because the nigga could be, nigga could have been saying he ate pussy that night, but then, you find out that nigga doing a whole nother lifestyle. And you done drank off this nigga, ain't no telling what's around your lips or in your mouth. Like, you just like, hold up. Or you might hear a female talking about some, yeah, like she sucked 4 niggas off, but she drinking, and you right there behind her drinking off the drink, and you like, hold on. Like, my generation believe in waterfall. This generation, I feel like they don't believe in waterfall. They believe in, fuck it, I'm just gonna smoke. I'm gonna smoke behind my nigga. I'm gonna drink behind my nigga. But then it's like, in this era, y'all eat ass. My generation, nigga, if you even ate pussy, nigga, I used to make you feel bad about eating pussy. You feel me? Niggas like, you ate the cooter? Niggas will make you feel bad. This generation, niggas is, I'm eating ass, I'm sucking toes, all type of wild shit. I'm like, hey, that's too far for your boy. I don't know. Elijah one ain't with that. You know what I mean? And, you might hear me refer to myself as my name, because a lot of people know me as Elijah one. But, really, to be honest, my other alias I go by is Tudoe. I like Tudoe. 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 Feel me? Tudoe. Nothing wrong with that. But it just fucking blows my mind to know, like, niggas just be out here on wild. Like, this generation is wilder than what we was. But then again, the generation before us was way wilder. And then when we got of our age and was doing our shit, they like, you little niggas is wild. Y'all burnt out. You feel me? You know, first it was wild, but now it's burnt out. Now it's like, no, first, hold on. First it was, y'all little niggas wild. And then it's like, y'all niggas is burnt out. Then it be like, you little niggas turned up, huh? You know what I mean? It's different. You feel me? It's different words, different phrases for every generation. I'm learning that. Like, for instance, when it came to be degrading a girl, what they say, you a hoe. Nowadays, I think nowadays, don't quote me on this, but I know my generation niggas was calling females thoughts. Feel me? This generation, they got it to where they calling her, I don't even remember the name for what they call females now. It's just, now it's just like, you know, she a bop. I think, is it a bop? I think it's bop. I think that's what they call female girls. They degrade them now by calling them bops. Or they call them vibes. That's what they call them, vibes. And I'm like, that shit don't make sense to me. Like, it's just like, you gotta see the difference. You feel me? Know the history of the generations before you. That way you don't, you know, the way you do your stuff, it'll make sense the way you doing it. Because I feel like this generation don't make sense with nothing they do. They just put anything out. When dance moves came out from music, you know, watching music videos. Niggas used to watch music videos and practice in the mirror on how to get their dance moves right. Or, you know, how to, like, when Chris Brown Yo came out, niggas was actually trying to, like, walk up to girls, you know, trying to sing Yo to females. This generation don't do none of that. This generation is so burnt. You know, I don't even know what the dance moves is nowadays, because the last dance move I kept up with, and this is how I know I was getting older and I wasn't paying attention to the times that was coming. This was when, it was after the jerk movement. Because first it was clown dancing, then it went to turfing, and then it was first it was clown dancing, crump dancing, turfing, and then it was jerking after that. After jerking, I gave up with dance moves, like, and it makes sense, like, and then for some reason, this generation dance moves, it like kind of like resembles some stuff from the slavery time. Like, I forgot that little dance move that Chris Brown was doing in the Go Crazy. If you look at the dance move he doing and go back and look at some, and I know it's some footage out there of actual, not real slaves, but you know how they make the little black and whites with, you know, people from certain times dancing. It's certain dance moves like that, and then, like, that's how the new generation dance now. Like, I remember when you could two-step on a dance floor, because, you know, I have uncles and cousins that taught me to two-step with a woman. Niggas don't even two-steps with they females no more. Niggas will let the girl go right to the dance floor and dance and twerk with her friends. The girls in my generation, they use what they call, what was it, pussy popping, or grinding on you. This generation just, it's like, I don't even know what I would do with a woman that's my age or older right now. I'll probably be like, so what's the new dance move, you know, baby girl or something? And they'd look at you, baby girl. How old is you, little nigga? Or how old is you, nigga? And, you know, you gotta watch it, because you might be talking to a girl you might think is your age, and she be underage like a motherfucker. You don't even know, because girls nowadays, they don't tell you some tell you their real age, but most of them be posing on these internet, Instagram pages like they grown, and they're not even grown. See, in my day and age, females did fake IDs. This generation don't even believe in nothing. They like, oh, we gonna get BBLs at 16. We getting tatted at 16, 17. Like, not even 16, 17 now. I think they getting tattoos earlier. But I know when I was growing up, females back then, they used to have to get not just females, but my generation period, used to have to get a consent form to have your parents sign for tattoos. They don't even ask questions for this generation no more. They just give them tattoos now. It's like, oh, they have age, whatever. We just gonna give them tattoos and piercings and shit. Back then, I seen females sneak and get tattoos or piercings, and they mom and daddy or whoever it was that picked them up would come up there tripping, and they get their ass beat in front of the whole school for doing that shit. Like, you remember when your parents used to embarrass you? This generation parents don't even embarrass them. And if we do it, we doing it online. Come on now, that's weird as fuck. Like, I'm not finna put my daughter on blast or my nephew or nobody on blast that's underage on the internet. That shit just don't go on the internet. That shit's not supposed to go on the internet. It seems like this generation now believes in putting everything on the internet. It's some shit you just don't put on the internet. Like, and I know that for a fact because I was raised right. When I say raised right, you feel me? Like, this generation, I feel like I've seen lives where people didn't rob people. Probably have killed people. But see, growing up in my era, niggas didn't do all that because niggas knew 25 to life or 13 years was a long time to be in jail. Be away from the streets and be away from broads. Niggas didn't want to go through that. So niggas played it smart. This generation don't do their homework on nothing. They go right in. Nigga had to play for 50,000. For 50 racks? Oh, we in there. And don't do no homework. Go up in there, guns blazing. Probably done killed the whole crowd of people. Now you're not even looking at the death penalty. You're not even looking at life no more. You're not looking at life in jail. You're looking at the death penalty. This generation be thinking that shit cool, like, to be in I got the death penalty. Like, imagine hearing somebody you know grew up will say, I got the death penalty. You look at that nigga crazy, like, what? You got the death penalty? What the fuck you do? This generation will be like my generation will probably be like, oh, you got hit with 25 to life? Oh, shit. Niggas will actually learn from it and be like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be like the homie too much. This generation be like, hell yeah. The homie got life, I'ma get life. Did you just hear what you just said? Nigga, I know what I said. Niggas will pull a Tupac. Yeah, I know what I said. Well, you know, if you're going to jail for life, you know you don't get to see nobody around you no more, right? And if you have kids out here, they're going to grow up without you, right? I don't give a fuck. I'm booty woo woo from booty woo woo and I'm thugging. Yeah. Niggas, man, I put down everything. I seen a nigga, I went to school with a nigga I used to talk to in school. Nigga was cool though. I remember he did some shit where he shot up a party. The shit got back to the school. He ended up going to jail for it. I think he killed his best friend. It was wild. Me and my colleagues in school, we up in there looking at the newspaper like, damn, we just seen this nigga like last week and now he got life. This generation will see that shit about, oh, the homie got life. That's what's up. I'm next to go get life with him. I know I probably look at a nigga now and probably look at a nigga like, nigga, you really lost. You really don't got it all. Like, you really got issues mentally. Because if you think life is cool in prison, you really got issues. My generation taught me, like, jail, what they taught me? They taught me jail, drugs, all that shit ain't nothing. That's bullshit. I feel like the niggas who's the OGs in my age right now, that's my age, 30 and up, they teaching the young nigga like, yeah, that shit cool, nigga. That's what you. Nah, I had uncles. I don't care. I had uncles, whoever that's older than me, tell me, this ain't it. They know, even though they know I was gonna go against the grain, but they know, you know, he gonna learn through experience to either grow out of it or go deeper in it. This generation do not think about shit. They don't even think about, like, what's the outcome if I kill somebody? Like, what's the outcome if, like, you know, and I feel like this generation, they believe in rape, too. I'm not trying to say everybody in this generation believe in rape. That's coming up. I'm just saying. I feel like some of these niggas that's in this generation feel like it's cool to rape a female. Like, you know, my generation, if you ever said you did something foul to a girl, niggas was liable to whoop your ass and disown you for life. This generation, they gonna disown you. They gonna be like, oh, yeah, the homie woo woo. Yeah, he popped baby girl when she was underage. Oh, for real? Alright, that's what's up. And go about their life and not care. And maybe it's just the human being or the person that I don't want to put it off on every generation, but in every generation, you know somebody that did some foul shit. You know somebody that did some cool shit. You know somebody that did some cruel shit. You know somebody that did some damn near some serial killer horror shit. Like, but you're not gonna tell nobody that. This generation believe in telling everything. They don't believe in keeping secrets at all. My generation is like, it was the era where you didn't even want to tell the police, like, yeah, I seen that nigga down the street rob such and such. Like, and the police come to your door, you didn't let them in. Like, you know. And I don't know about this generation if they still letting the law in. I'm not taking nothing from the law. I don't got nothing against the law. I'm just saying, my generation, if you seen the police at your door, grandma, mama, auntie, the police at the door, dude, I don't even think that generation even do that shit right now. Like, that's some real shit. Shit don't make sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? And I probably didn't touch too much on snitching because I don't do the snitching. I don't like snitch politics. I don't even like talking about snitching. Like, that shit ain't cool. So if I got off topic with that, hey, my bad. But I'm just comparing my generation and generation. I can't really compare the generation before me because we learned from them. But we knew how to, like, analyze certain things that was and wasn't for us. I don't know if this generation analyzes shit they go through. And that's scary because I have a daughter. And I'll be damned if I let any of these females from the Cardi B's to the Glorrillas to the City Girl, I'll be damned if I let any of them influence my daughter. If I even hear a City Girl song, and I ain't taking nothing from no artist who making their money. Make your money. But my daughter will not listen to that bullshit y'all putting out on the radio. Like, perfect example. My generation versus this generation. My generation, we had Walkman, CD players, and we watched BET 106 Apart 360. If anybody know about 360 was like a hip hop dance show. TRL, VH1, Jams. Or is it? I think it's MTV Jams. This generation don't know nothing about that. This generation, what they got? I can't even say what they got because I don't know. That's how much I'm not tapped in with that younger generation. But I can tell you this. In my generation, we had iTunes, because iTunes that just came around. We had LimeWire. We had Digital Drip. If you was a real jerker, you knew about Digital Drip because that's where they was putting the newest music out. I don't even know if Digital Drip still exists. Digital Drip was one of them websites I used to go to for all my jerk music. I don't know what we have now besides YouTube for this generation. See the difference? I can actually tell you shows. Okay, better yet, we're going to go to cartoons. I'm not taking them from SpongeBob because I just found out that SpongeBob was they said he was considered a homo or gay person. Hey, back when I was growing up, SpongeBob was on your TV. You didn't even think nothing about it. But everybody knew SpongeBob. Everybody knew SpongeBob was suspect because he used to do some suspect ass shit. So niggas used to be like, man, that nigga SpongeBob on some fruity shit. Like, we used to always say that back then. Like, man, this nigga doing some fruity shit. Like, we don't know about SpongeBob. But then, I could tell you the cartoons I did watch growing up. Deputy Dog. Jabba Jaw. The Jetsons. The Flintstones. Fucking, Tom and Jerry. Huckleberry Hound. Nigga, Big Blue Bear in the Big House. You feel me? Bear in the Big Blue House. Fucking, what's that shit, though? I think the Wiggles was out back then, too. I remember the Wiggles. Roly Poly. What the... It's so many cartoons I can name right now. Fucking Dexter's Laboratory. Powerpuff Girls. I knew about the Powerpuff Girls because everybody had a female family member in the fucking house who loved that shit. What's the name of that other shit? Man. Animaniacs. Pinky and the Brain. I ain't done. Like I'm still going because that's a lot of cartoons. Damn, there's so many I can't even think about all of them right now. Like back when I was in middle school and high school, we used to run like home, get on our laptops, and we'll play the newest game that was on what was that, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. I know I did. And if it wasn't that, we was playing GTA, Vice City, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 3. We had Crazy Taxi. We had some other games that I could sit here and say. Midnight Club Dub Edition. We had Twisted Metal. If you don't know about Twisted Metal, you really ain't from the 2000s. And don't get me started with the bands. I could get into bands right now. We had what? We had NSYNC, Blackstreet, Maroon 5. What's another band I could think of? And I'm probably forgetting because I know cause they was it was two bands that they used to put against each other. It was I can't think of them right now, but it's gonna come to me probably when I get off this shit. Just know that growing up in the 2000s, as deadly as it was lit as fuck too. For me, niggas remember all the tragedies like fucking Hurricane Katrina. So many tragedies, like even when famous people die, like when Left Eye died, like you seen the girls come to school crying. When Aaliyah died, you seen girls coming to school crying. You used to try to console them just so you probably could end up being one of their boyfriends. Like niggas don't know no shit about that. This generation ain't on that type of time. So niggas used to use their wits to actually get in the girl pants, you feel me? And I ain't bragging about it because, you feel me, I lived through it. So I could talk about it. This generation don't believe in that type of shit. Niggas is like, but it's easier for y'all now. Y'all got the internet. So all you could do is dress up, flash money, and look like you getting some money and a female will talk to you. I'm the era where you have to actually put the groundwork in to actually get a girl number. For me, where you actually had to like go through the stages of knowing her friends, knowing who her best friend was, actually tell her like get up the courage to tell the girl like, hey, I like your friend. Oh, you know what, for real? And they be like, what you think, best friend? And you know, they best friend give you the nod or something, or tell them like, yeah, it's good to give him your number. And then you know, y'all get to each other's number, y'all start talking on the phone in middle school. Man, y'all young cats ain't moving like that. You feel me? I'm from that age. Everybody be considered like that's the golden age, or oh man, you talking some old school shit, or you talking some man, you sound like an old nigga right now. I ain't really an old nigga. I just grew up fast because you feel me. In my era, you really didn't get the like, you know, you roll with who you roll with, and whatever your friends did, you did. But everybody had their decision. Like if you seen a nigga pull out a gun and pull an armed robbery, like you either had the chance to say, hey, I ain't involved in this, or you went the other way, or you might see a nigga like, you know, finesse a nigga out of something at school or something, you know, or, you know, snatch an extra lunch line ticket from a nigga, or, you know, however, you feel me, or tell the homie like, hey, go give me a free milk, or go give me another milk, like, you feel me? Or I throw you 50 cents, or, you know, I throw you $1 for it, or, hey, you know, the popular girl in school, you feel me, you knew she had the juice because she was either on the ASB board, or, you feel me, she was like she had some type of name in the school where she can get you some free chips if she liked you, or, you know, or she could set up a after school dance. Niggas don't know nothing about after school dances. Let me get into after school dances where you had to put on your flyers, fit, and come to the school looking good, or you put it in your backpack, you folded it up right, so when you got time to, you know when it was time for the after school dance, you feel me, you took your outfit out, you know, you put your shit on nice, you make sure you look good. This one Axe was the shit. This how you know I'm they say I'm a young OG or whatever. Cause Axe was the shit. You went to Axe for spray. Some niggas used to use the female secrets and shit. You know, niggas ain't talking about that, but for me, back when you used to have to put I don't know how I think you bought up socks and you put them under your Chuck tongues. You wore thick laces. And whatever hood you was from, that's the color you wore. You feel me? You know what I mean? Niggas don't know nothing about that. Or you had your, when beanie caps was in. Or you had your do-rag and you came to school with your do-rag and they made you put it away. Back when if you got caught with a bandana, they took your shit and they didn't give it back to you at all. Like they kept it the whole school year. And that's coming from a nigga who grew up in an era where even though you wasn't from nowhere or if you was from somewhere, like as blacks, you stood together. When some shit cracked off in middle school, the blacks stuck with the blacks. The Mexicans stuck with the Mexicans. And it wasn't us, it was what we was being taught. See, nowadays you can mingle and talk to whoever you want to talk to, date who you want to date with. Back then, you feel me? You had racists that'll tell you like, "Hey, my daughter she not talking to you. So lose his number. Don't call his house. Don't even let me see you pop up to his house. If I see you pop up to his house, you already know what it is." Like this generation ain't going through that type of stuff. Y'all actually got it easier than what I did growing up. And I'm not knocking y'all. I'm gonna give y'all props because, like I said, one thing y'all know how to do is get to the bag. My generation, every time we try to get to the bag, some shit happened. Like. Back when you could probably, you feel me? If you, I don't even, like, sidekicks was the lick. When you jacked the nigga for a sidekick, I ain't gonna sit here and say I partake in jacking sidekicks because jacking cell phones and sidekicks wasn't my shit. Now, house licks back in the day, hey, before they start calling them flocks, it was actually called a house lick. But the proper term for house licks is robbery. You feel me? This generation call it flocking. YG was talking about that back in what, 2000 something, but I've been around niggas who been doing that my whole life. And I ain't saying no names, but you know what I mean? Like, it's the proof is in the pudding. You gonna grow up with somebody that already know how to do this. They gonna teach you the way how to do it so you can make some money. This day now, this generation be finessing drugs. They'll finesse anything. They call it finessing. I'm trying to finesse a bitch, or I'm trying to I'm trying to finesse a nigga mommy real quick or grandmama right real quick. You know what I mean? It's just finesse. That's all this generation know how to do is finesse. But they get into the bag though. I can't knock y'all for that. So I just wanted to get on here and just share that for a cool couple minutes or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Please like, comment, share, subscribe this video. Feel me? Like, do all that good shit. You feel me? But if you want me to say it in the proper way, okay. Please like, comment, share, and comment on this video. Hit that thumbs up notification and click that bell icon for me, please. And thank you. Nah. But for real though, can you please do all that to help my page? Thank you.